Out of nowhere, Devolver Digital sent me the early access code for Stick It to the Stickman. I have never worked with them before, so I'm guessing maybe they saw my video on Downwell. I did tag them on Twitter about it, so maybe that got me in the door. It was a nice surprise to see an email from them with a game code for something I'd never heard of. Turns out this game has been in development for quite a while and is just now about to go public in more than just the demo form. So how is it? Well, long story short, I like parts of it and I dislike others. There's a great sense of humor, poking fun at the corporate world's dehumanization of their workers and disdain for the public. Lots of really funny jokes, and portraying horrifying events in cartoonish cuteness, like running over protesters and building a company gym over a neighborhood park. This game made me burst out laughing several times. It's funny in that prison architect way, where it's not funny that someone got stabbed in the shower and died, but the graphics are just so cute that it's morbidly hilarious. In the beginning, you have to choose the name of your work partner, and I had to go with Jeff, because he's a son of a bitch, that Jeff.
Yeah, you won't be so cocky, Jeff, when I come into the office with a Kalashnikov and 200 rounds of ammunition.
After running around the map for a bit, just beating people up and getting killed by the cops, I headed in for my first day of work. I kicked and punched my way through the line and told the boss I'm the man for the job. He told me to fire Jeff, which I did, happily. The physics are very, very floaty. This game takes a while to figure out how to control well, but the awkwardness is also part of the charm, kinda. It feels sloppy, but it's also appropriate for the style of game they've made. I don't know how to explain this, you'll just have to see for yourself. What I really like about this game is where the main effort has been given, and that's the mob fights as you're climbing the office tower. You can pick from lots of different unlockable company stickmen that represent the different kinds of people you'd see at the office, each of them with their own series of attacks and special moves. Staple guns, hammers, throwable coffee mugs, and a huge variety of melee options. You start with a handful of attacks, and they cycle back around once you finish them. Building XP opens doors for upgrades, where you can either buy a new attack to add to the series, or upgrade one you already have. And these upgrades are wildly fun. Turn the knife into a series of shurikens, and then turn those shurikens into a Hadouken. Upgraded attacks take from popular series, like Liu Kang's Dragon Kick or Darth Vader's Force Choke. Every character plays just different enough to make me want to run through the tower with all of them. At first it feels pretty mashy, but as it gets harder you need to start paying attention to which attack is coming next in the series, so you can strategically target enemies with heavy attacks and heal yourself at appropriate moments, etc. I was surprised by how thoughtful the combat actually became. And every time you go up, the tower gets more challenging. Make it to the top and kill the CEO in a boss fight, and now you're the new CEO, and the next stickman goes up to take his place. At one point I even had to fight Jeff again.
Jeff!
As you're completing the tower, you'll be earning money to expand the business into new properties, which is what unlocks the upgrade trees that enhance the game in a bunch of different ways. And each property actually changes the gameplay in significant ways. This is where I start to have a problem. I was hoping the game would expand into more towers, more interesting spaces, new enemy types, new environments. But for now it's just the one tower, and the other parts of the game shift genre. There are 5 levels of platforming with absolutely no combat challenge, no selection of character type which you've invested so heavily in with your unlocks, and boss fights that are basically no danger to you. You still get upgrades, but they're no longer XP based, they're dished out to you at certain moments, and the entire level is just running to the right and avoiding hazards. And hey, I love a good 2D platformer, don't get me wrong. Super Meat Boy, Celeste, Ninja Gaiden, I'm here for it. But these levels are far less fun than the core gameplay found in the tower. After 2 of these levels, I quit and went back to the tower for a while. Eventually, I expanded to a new building once I unlocked the CEO cage match tier, but in order to accept the fight, I had to train. So after I demolished those stupid kids' park and built the training center, I went in to prepare. Time to practice beating up Jeff.
I'm going to Aberdeen. I'm going, Jeff. In a canoe made of your skin, wearing your nuts as earrings.
And would you believe me if I told you it turns into one of those games that plays itself? Yeah, you select an attack series and then watch your character fight. It was charming, I don't mind a gimmick, but you gotta fight this guy like 6 times, just sitting there watching the fight, doing nothing. And if you lose, which you will by fight 3 or 4, you gotta go back and choose a different attack series, and then cross your fingers that the game lets you win this autoplay section. It's pretty bad, and very frustrating. After a few losses, I said, fuck this, let me do something else. But all there was to do was play the same tower, which I'd already completed 15 times, or finish the platforming missions. I really didn't want to do that, but I was afraid I wouldn't be able to progress through the content if I ignored both the platforming and the training. So I finished every platforming level, even the final one that goes on forever and drove me crazy because one death means you have to restart the entire thing. And nope, after finishing it, the game didn't progress. But maybe I don't have to do these missions. I just went back to the tower and kept grinding. Eventually I unlocked Night Shift, which is just the same tower but with a lot more floors, specific characters to use, and much tougher enemies. It's cool. It really got me to play in a deliberate fashion, timing my moves, prioritizing my targets. I was in the fun zone. But it is still the same tower, essentially, visually speaking. The same hazards, all the enemies are the same color still. The new attacks are cool, I love the experimentation and synergy between different options. I'm just kinda over it at this point, because it's not shaking things up enough. I don't need so much of a shakeup that it's suddenly an autoplay game like the training center, but I definitely need something more. I got excited when I finally unlocked the movie theater, but I ran into a bug where anytime I try to go in, the screen just goes black. Oh well, I guess my journey ends here for now. Well, it is a bug, but it's also not a part of the game. You can see this guy right here that says these are just the credits. So the credits aren't rolling, that is a bug, but this is also not a new place to go. I don't know how much more content there is left to see, maybe I have already seen it all. And I liked some of it, like I said in the beginning, and I disliked some other parts. Now, this game is in early access, so it's not the time for judgment, it's the time for feedback. So here's mine. Stick It to the Stickman has some really cool things going for it. I think they should focus on the combat where you have 20 plus available character types, and not on gimmicky side modes for the sake of variety. Play to your strengths, drop the training mode, cut the platforming levels down to 2, with the big one being the 3rd if you want to play it, and make some awesome new towers and other spaces to let the combat shine. You can grab Stick It to the Stickman on Steam. I wish it the best. Thank you to Devolver Digital for the code, and that's all I've got for you.